Today we are going to discuss about the synthesis of unsaturated hydrocarbon. Under the title of this lecture, we will study synthesis of alkene and synthesis of alkyne. Class main points which will be discussed in this lecture is: firstly, we discuss about introduction to hydrocarbons. Secondly, we will discuss about how alkenes will be prepared through different reactions. Thirdly, we will see how alkynes will be prepared through various reactions. We will discuss all these points step by step. In first part of lecture, we will discuss about introduction of unsaturated hydrocarbons. Unsaturated hydrocarbons are basically type of hydrocarbon. It consists of double or triple bond. If it contains double bond, it means such kind of unsaturated hydrocarbon will be alkenes. Or if such unsaturated hydrocarbons having triple bond, it means they will be named as alkyne. As double bond have 1 sigma and 1 pi bond, and triple bond have 1 sigma and 2 pi bond. Hence, by nature, they are quite reactive. In addition to this, unsaturated hydrocarbons have many applications. One of them is it acts as a building block for many popular plastics. If we take some examples from our daily life, we have vinyl plastic. Vinyl plastic is very famous polymer which is being used for building and construction application. On the other hand, we have polyethylene. Polyethylene have famous plastic which is used in market daily for different uses. Third one is acrylic. Acrylic is considered that it will be soon a replacement of glass. And in addition to these plastic, there are other session synthetic material like alcohol, detergent, antifreeze, which are involved unsaturated hydrocarbons. Here are few examples of unsaturated hydrocarbon. We have polyethylene, we have methyl acrylate, and third one polyvinyl chloride, and their application could be seen in pictures. Class, before proceeding ahead in a lecture and see how alkene is being synthesized and alkyne is being synthesized, let's have a brief glimpse on the classification of hydrocarbon. Hydrocarbon basically of two types. Firstly, we have aliphatic or open chain compound. Secondly, we have cyclic or closed chain compound. This cyclic or closed chain compound further divided into alicyclic and aromatic compound. Firstly, let's have a glimpse on aliphatic or open chain compound. This open chain compound is further divided into two groups. Firstly, we have saturated hydrocarbon. Secondly, we have unsaturated hydrocarbon. Saturated hydrocarbon, that is alkane. This alkane contain one sigma bond, or it contain only single covalent bond. It do not have any pi bond, so that's why it is also known as paraffins. In case of unsaturated hydrocarbon, it is further divided into alkenes and alkynes. Alkenes have 1 sigma, 1 pi bond, meaning double bonded. Where alkyne is 1 sigma and 2 pi bonds, mean it's triple bonded. In second part of lecture, we will discuss about how alkene could be prepared and what are the reactions which are responsible for the synthesis of alkene. Here is a brief introduction of alkenes. Before we proceed ahead in the lecture and see what are the reactions which are responsible for the synthesis of alkene. Let's discuss alkene briefly here. Alkene are also known as olefins. Alkenes contain carbon to carbon double bond. It's mean if it contains double bond, it have 1 sigma and 1 pi bond, and presence of this pi bond make it very reactive. Its general formula is represented by this one. In carbon to carbon double bond, you will see there will be sharing of an electron. As we have mentioned before, it contains double bond. It's mean there will be sharing of two pairs of electron. leaving the carbon free to bond to other compounds or other neighbor molecules. Examples, two main examples we have been discussed here. Firstly, ethylene. You will say here it's 2 carbon and 4 hydrogen, and it definitely follow this formula. Suppose here how much number of carbons we have? 2. So it's C2H2 into 2, and hydrogen will be 4. So let's calculate. Isn't here is 4 hydrogen? Yes, 2 carbon and 4 hydrogen. Ethylene have many applications, but most important application, it is responsible for the ripening of fruits. Secondly, we have propylene. Propylene in many chemical and plastic industries, they are using propylene as a fuel gas. Here is a brief summary for the synthesis of alkene from different reactants and passing through different processes. Firstly, dehydration of alcohol. Here the reactant which is being used is alcohol, and the process will be dehydration. Secondly, we have dehydrohalogenation of monohalide. Here the reactant is monohalide and the process is dehydrohalogenation. Thirdly, we have dehalogenation of dihalide. Here the reactant is dihalide and the process will be dehalogenation, it means removal of halo groups. Next, we have Koch's electrolysis method. This method is not only used in the synthesis of alkene. You will see this methodology also used as we will proceed towards the synthesis of alkyne. Next is synthesis of alkene by using alkyl halide. We will discuss all these reactions one by one and see how these reactants will convert into alkene by passing through all these processes. Generally class, it could be possible that alkene will be prepared from saturated compounds. What are these saturated compounds? We will see it in next examples or in next reactions. But here are two conditions for preparation of alkene from saturated compound. Firstly, there should be elimination. Secondly, there should be elimination from 2 adjacent carbon atoms. Hence, it will be responsible for the formation of double bond. Synthesis of alkene involve elimination reaction. Now we have to understand what is elimination reaction and how it is responsible for the production of alkene. Firstly, such reaction in which there is elimination of 2 atom or group, but condition is that it should be from 2 adjacent atoms of substrate molecule so that it could be formed double bond or triple bond, depends upon the requirement. Either we want to prepare alkene or alkyne. As we know, the alkene could be prepared through elimination reaction. There are 3 main elimination reactions you will observe in this lecture. Firstly, dehydrohalogenation of alkyl halide, that you have reactant alkyl halide, and we are going to pass through the process of dehydrohalogenation. Secondly, we have reactant glycerin dihalide and the process will be dehalogenation. Thirdly, we have alcohol as a reactant and the process will be dehydration. All these 3 types of reaction come under the heading of elimination reaction. Here class, our first reaction for the preparation of alkene. The reactant which is being used in this reaction is alkyl halide or haloalkanes. The process which will be involved in this reaction is dehydrohalogenation. It's mean dehydrohalogenation mean removal of hydrogen and halo group. By removal of hydrogen and halo group, there will be formation of hydrogen halide. This reaction will occur in the presence of strong base. The strong base which could be used is potassium hydroxide. Here is the example. You will see that it's a general reaction. Here is saturated compound which is alkyl halide. This alkyl halide in the presence of base, and as we have mentioned here, it could be alcoholic solution of potassium hydroxide. In the presence of this base, you will see there is the removal of hydrogen from this side, halo group from this side. It's mean We name this reaction undergo through the process of dehydrohalogenation. As this proton will move out, is halo move out, and they both react with each other, and then we will see the response will be into formation of hydrogen halide, plus there is the formation of alkene by the removal of the both group which is present on the adjacent carbons. Here we will see ease of dehydrohalogenation. Alkyl halide, as we know, they also tertiary in nature, they also secondary in nature, they also primary in nature. We will see which is more reactive, and let's see which have more possibility to undergo dehydrohalogenation. We will see in case of tertiary alkyl halide, their ease of dehydrohalogenation is far easier in comparison to secondary one, in comparison to primary. It's mean the alkyl halide which is further bonded to 3 carbon will have maximum possibility to undergo dehydrohalogenation. Next, we will see secondary alkyl halide, such kind of alkyl halide in which it will be bonded to 2 carbon. Its ability to pass through, overthrow and undergo dehydrohalogenation is less in comparison to tertiary alkyl halide. Next, we will see the primary alkyl halide ability to pass through dehydrohalogenation and give us our required product alkene is far less, and it's so difficult in comparison to tertiary and secondary. If we summarize all the discussion, it's mean tertiary alkyl halide is more reactive in comparison to secondary and in comparison to primary. Class, our next reaction is preparation of alkene from vicinal dihalide. Before proceeding towards next step and see how alkene is prepared from vicinal dihalide, let's see what is vicinal dihalide by nature. Vicinal dihalide, as we have been studied in FSC, a compound having 2 halogen atom, and condition is that this halogen atom must be present to adjacent carbon atom. If they are present to adjacent carbon atom, then we will name as vicinal, and if there is no adjacent position, we don't say it's vicinal, it has different terminology. Vicinal dihalides on reaction with zinc lose a molecule of zinc dihalide in order to form alkene. For example, in this reaction you will see that it's a vicinal dihalide. The reason is that this halo group is present on adjacent carbon. It in the presence of zinc, which is definitely we have a metallic in nature, it will undergo reaction with this reactant, and in the response the product we will got alkene, we have ethene plus zinc dibromide. Before proceeding ahead, it's really important, class, we have to clear 2 main terminology. These 2 terminology mostly confused by students. In case of dihalide, there are 2 terminologies which are very famous and which is used oftenly as it is being used in FSC: vicinal dihalide, and second one is geminal dihalide. Vicinal dihalides, definitely it's dihalide containing compound, but here the condition is that halogens which are present in vicinal dihalide should be on adjacent carbon atom. But in case of geminal dihalide, the dihalide which is being used should be present, or it should be these halogens to atoms should be attached to the same carbon atom. Here is another reaction which show that we have vicinal dihalide, and this vicinal dihalide is responsible for the formation of alkene. But this reaction is different from previous one as it contains, or as it occurs in the presence of sodium iodide. This sodium iodide, in addition to alkene, also produce iodine plus sodium bromide. Class, our next reaction for the synthesis of alkene is alcohol dehydration. Dehydration of alcohol is basically acid catalyzed reaction. This reaction by nature is elimination reaction, and it will be favored at higher temperature. Alcohol on heating in the presence of Bronsted acid, which could be sulfuric acid, which could be phosphoric acid, and which could be Lewis acid. For example, we have alumina. There will be loss of water molecule from an alkene. This dehydration of alcohol involves loss of hydroxyl group from alpha carbon and loss of hydrogen from beta carbon. Here is a general reaction. You will see that here we have an alcohol. It in the presence of acid and in the presence of heat, it will convert into a required product, which is alkene. And in addition to this alkene, there is also the formation of water. There will be removal of one molecule of water. It is being observed that in case of primary alcohol, for example, in dehydration of ethanol, we need concentrated sulfuric acid, but as we know, this acid is very strong acid, and even be using strong acid, still we have to give temperature of 180 degrees centigrade. It's mean by nature it is not easy to pass ethanol or any primary alcohol from the process of dehydration. That's why you needed a strong acid, and in addition to this strong acid, you also needed a temperature of 180 degrees centigrade. As we have been mentioned Lewis acid with alumina before, we have been seen that this alumina, this important Lewis acid, is used in industrial gas phase dehydration. It is used at industrial level. Class, in order to understand dehydration of alcohol, how it is responsible for the synthesis of alkene, let's discuss its mechanism. It is basically consists of three steps. In first step, there will be an attack of proton on oxygen which contain unshared electron pair. As a result of this reaction and as a result of this attack, a product is formed which is protonated alcohol. This protonated alcohol is responsible for the weak C2O bond. So there will be breakage of bond, and in the response we have carbonium ion, and in addition to this carbonium ion, there is a release of one molecule of water. That's why this reaction is named as dehydration, as is a removal of water molecule. In the next step, you will see this carbonium ion will undergo deprotonation, and as a result of deprotonation, there will be formation of alkene. And in this example, alkene which is being produced is ethene, and in addition to this, there is also a formation of H positive ion. Class, before all, previously we discussed about primary alcohol, how it undergo dehydration. Secondary alcohol also have ability to undergo dehydration, but for this it contains mild conditions. For example, we have an example of cyclohexanol. It dehydrates in the presence of 85% phosphoric acid, and here the condition is 165 to 170 degrees centigrade, as it is being shown in following picture. Its mean phosphoric acid 85%, and here the temperature is 165 to 170 degrees centigrade. Let's see what happened in tertiary alcohol. Tertiary alcohol have also ability to undergo dehydration, but it contains extremely mild condition, very light conditions. For example, we have examples of tertiary butyl alcohol. This alcohol, which is tertiary in nature, which is bonded to 3 carbon, it undergoes dehydration only in the presence of 25% sulfuric acid. And here the temperature is not 180 degrees centigrade, which is being used in primary one. Here you need temperature only 85 degrees centigrade. Class, here is the example of tertiary alcohol. It in the presence of 20-25% sulfuric acid and temperature of 85 degrees centigrade responsible for the production of alkene. This alkene, in addition to this alkene, there is a formation of water. As the process is dehydration, it means there should be a removal of water. As we see, the conditions are very mild in comparison to secondary one, in comparison to primary. So let's conclude our discussion hereby. It's mean ease of dehydration, and we will see if tertiary alcohol response, how it responds, secondary response, and then we will see how primary will be respond. Tertiary alcohol, it's mean it is bonded to 3 carbon. This tertiary alcohol have ability to undergo dehydration more easily in comparison to secondary, in comparison to primary. It's mean the tertiary alcohol needs very mild conditions, but secondary alcohol have ability to undergo dehydration more easily than primary, but little bit difficult than tertiary. As we know, secondary alcohol is that kind of alcohol which is bonded to 2 carbon, and we have third one, primary alcohol. For dehydration of primary alcohol, we need very severe conditions. As we have know, we are using sulfuric acid concentrated, we are using 180 degrees centigrade. So it is easy to do dehydration of alcohol if it's tertiary nature. It is difficult to undergo its dehydration if it's of primary alcohol nature. Next reaction for the synthesis of alkene is pyrolysis of ester. Only those ester can be used as reactant in this kind of reaction which have hydrogen which is being present on beta carbon atom of alkoxy group. If this condition is not fulfilled, then that kind of ester could not be used. In addition to this reactant, you have to give it temperature 500 to 590 degrees centigrade, and in the presence of this condition, there will be a production or synthesis of alkene, which is a required product. In addition to this alkene, there will be an elimination of carboxyl group. It's mean this reaction is not an only source of alkene, but it is responsible for the production of carboxyl group. But hereby the condition you have to give a 500 to 590 degrees centigrade. So this high temperature will be responsible for the thermal elimination, or we could name it as pyrolytic elimination. Next reaction is Koch reaction, and this reaction is one of the popular reaction. It is also named as pyrolysis of amine oxide. Here we need amine oxide as a reactant, so it's a pyrolysis and we got alkene as a product. So we produce amine oxide by the reaction of hydrogen peroxide with the tertiary amine, and in the response of this reaction we got tertiary amine oxide. This tertiary amine oxide on heating is responsible for the undergo pyrolysis, and it forms alkene, which is our required product. Here the bond which is new bond which is formed C to C or to H, and bond which is undergo breakdown is C to H and C to N. Next is Koch's electrolysis. It is well-known method for the preparation of alkene, and as we proceed in our lecture, you will see this method is also useful in the preparation of alkyne. We will discuss it later on. Now, Koch's electrolysis method need reactant. Here the reactant is sodium or potassium salt of saturated dicarboxylic acid, and the process which is being involved is electrolysis. Now let's see the example which is being mentioned here. Here is the example of sodium salt of saturated dicarboxylic acid. This sodium succinate, when undergo electrolysis, there will be a reaction take place. As we know, it's electrolysis. We have electrode, one act as an anode and other act as a cathode. So what will happen in the presence of all this process? At anode we have the anion, at cathode we have Na positive. This will be responsible for the loss of electron. As it lose electron, one electron will lose from here, one electron will lose from here, and it result in the formation of this product. Where at cathode what happened, Na positive receive 2 electron, and this 2 electron will be responsible for the production of or the of 2 Na, and this in the presence of water responsible for the production of sodium hydroxide, which is a very essential compound which is used in chemistry. Plus, in addition to this, it is responsible for the production of hydrogen, and this hydrogen could be used in any other process. It depends upon our requirement. Now, this product will undergo decarboxylation. There will be removal of carbon dioxide, definitely from this one and from this, and the response will be this one. After the removal of carbon dioxide, there will be ability of electron here, there will be ability of electron here. So they undergo dimerization, and through the process of dimerization there will be the production of our required product, which is alkene. In the second part of this lecture, we will discuss about how alkynes will be prepared through different reactions and methods. Before proceeding ahead in a lecture, let's have a brief introduction of alkynes. Alkynes are such kind of unsaturated hydrocarbons which contains multiple bonds, and here the multiple bonds are triple bond. There are long list of examples of alkynes. We will discuss very few examples hereby, and we know its formula is being mentioned in previous slide. Ethine, it has 2 carbon and it's a 1 triple bond. Propyne have 3 carbon and it also have 1 triple bond. Butane have 4 carbon, it also have 1 triple bond. On the other hand, alkynes could be prepared through different reactions and different processes. Here we discuss main points. Alkynes will be prepared through dehydrohalogenation of vicinal dihalide. So here the reactant is vicinal dihalide and it undergo removal of hydrogen and halogen. How? We will see in next slide. Next, dehalogenation of tetrahalides mean here the reactant is tetrahalide. It contains 4 halo group, and the process which will be take place is dehalogenation. It's mean removal of halo group. Next is preparation of alkyne from alkene. Alkene can be used as reactant and it will be responsible for the production of alkyne. Next is industrial preparation of alkyne. We will see that how alkyne could be prepared not only at laboratory level but also at industrial level. Last is Cobb's electrolytic method. You will remember that this method is also used in case of synthesis of alkene. This method is as well as famous as well as it was in alkene for the synthesis of alkyne. How? We will see it step by step. First, let's discuss about dehydrohalogenation of vicinal dihalides. It's one of the most important reaction for the preparation of alkyne. Firstly, what happened? We have alkene carbon atom. There will be removal of hydrogen and halogen atom from adjacent alkane carbon atom. It will do not lead to formation of alkyne. Neither it form alkene. This alkene further responsible for the loss of hydrogen and halogen atom from double bonded carbon atom is responsible to the production of alkyne. As we have mentioned before, there is 2 terminology, geminal dihalide and vicinal dihalide. The only difference between these 2 terminologies is that the halogen atom present in geminal dihalide they are also present in vicinal dihalide. The difference is that halogen atom is present on the same carbon, where here the halogen atom present between on adjacent carbon in case of vicinal dihalide. Here is the reaction for dehydrohalogenation of vicinal dihalide or geminal dihalide. As we have discussed these 2 terminology in previous slide, geminal dihalide is that kind of dihalide which have 2 halo groups on the same carbon, where vicinal dihalide have halo group on the adjacent carbon. In both cases, if they are treated in the presence of potassium hydroxide, they will undergo dehydro, it's mean removal of hydrogen, and halogenation, it's mean removal of halo group. In the basic medium, the response will be production of potassium halide plus there is a water molecule plus there is the production of alkene, which in this case is vinyl halide. But still, our target is to produce alkyne, so it's mean further reaction will be proceed, and in presence of sodium amide, what will happen, this alkene will be converted into alkyne, which is our required product. Class next reaction is dehalogenation of tetrahalides, mean the reactant is tetrahalide. Tetrahalide means such kind of compound which contain not 1, not 2, not 3, contain 4 halo groups. The process which take place for the synthesis of alkyne is dehalogenation. It means there will be removal of halogen groups. Vicinal tetrahaloalkanes can be dehalogenated in the presence of zinc metal, so it's an organometallic reaction to form alkyne. For example, in general reaction, this is tetrahalide. In the presence of this zinc metal, response will be production of vinyl halides. Mean here there are 4 halo groups and here is 2 halo group. It means there is removal of 2 halo group and it will form zinc dihalide. Again, this vinyl halide, as we know, we will proceed this reaction for the synthesis of alkyne, and still we do not have alkyne. It again, in the presence of zinc, it will be responsible for the production of alkyne. Its example could be, suppose we have 2233 tetrabromobutane, which in the presence of zinc is responsible for the production of 2-butane, plus we have production of zinc dihalide. Next reaction is synthesis of alkyne by using alkene. Generally, chlorine or bromine along with inert halogenated solvent, for example, we have chloromethane, or we can use carbon tetrachloride. They will be responsible for the production of vicinal dihalide from an alkene. As we know, this terminology is not new in this lecture. Before we have studied that vicinal dihalide, that kind of a compound which contain 2 halogen group on adjacent carbon atom. This vicinal dihalide which is being formed will further react with the strong base, and on reaction with strong base it will be responsible for the production of our required product alkyne along with the production of hydrogen halide. Here is the reaction, general reaction which show the synthesis of alkyne from alkene. This alkene, in the presence of carbon tetrachloride and halogen, it will form vicinal dihalide. Now, this vicinal dihalide on further reaction with base will be responsible for the production of alkyne along with 2 hydrogen halide. Class, apart from laboratory methodology, let's discuss about industrial methodology for the synthesis of alkyne. Here is the example which is being used is ethyne. Firstly, there are 2 methodology. In first reaction, you will see calcium carbide in the presence of water. These 2 reactants are responsible for the production of our required product, which is ethyne. Along with this ethyne, there is also a production of calcium hydroxide. It's mean on industrial scale, this reaction is very famous due to 2 reasons. Not only it's a source of alkyne, but in addition to this, there will be production of calcium hydroxide, and we know that calcium hydroxide have many wide application in world of chemistry. In second reaction, this reaction, as you see, proceed without any high temperature, but following reaction, this lime, this coke will undergo a reaction. They will react with each other and give rise to calcium carbide. This calcium carbide will be used with water, and this reaction will be responsible for the production of alkyne. So this reaction is responsible for the production of calcium carbide, and this calcium carbide will be used later on to be reacted with water to produce alkyne. Next is Cobb's electrolytic method. This Cobb's electrolytic method is not new in this lecture. You have been studied this lecture during synthesis of alkene. Now we are going to use it again for the synthesis of alkyne. The process which is involved in this reaction is electrolysis, and the reactant which is being used is sodium or potassium salt of malic or fumaric acid. It will be lead towards the formation of alkyne. How? Let's see in this reaction. Here is potassium alleate. As we know that potassium alleate have double bonds, so it will lead towards the alkyne. It undergoes the process of electrolysis. After passing through electrolysis, potassium alleate will form the anion plus cation. This anion further proceed, and on further proceed, it will give rise to a required product, which is acetylene plus. It will give rise to carbon dioxide plus. There will be also availability of 2 electrons. In the third part of this lecture, here is the assignment for the students. You have to search what are the latest applications of alkene. And secondly, students, you have to search what are latest applications of alkynes. Thirdly, student, you have to find out by using different books, either national or international, and search out at least 2 examples of each reaction which is being mentioned in this lecture hereby. Thank you.